Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TNT Podcast. We've got a couple of special guests here with us tonight. We have Tuna and we have Sam, who is driving and talking, but safely. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. He is
not very safely.
Calm out, right? That you
they don't give me
won't...
I'm a Mustang, so it's not totally safe. It's marginally safe.
Well, if we hear any swearing, we know it's just Sam, yelling at the other drivers. So we'll forgive him tonight.
Funny. You would think so, but I'm really not a road rage guy. I know, funny, right?
Okay, right.
I'm just like, oh, okay, it's cool, whatever.
Well, if we see some flashing lights behind you, we'll let you know.
That might make a little more interesting phone call. Yeah, sounds good.
I thought all Mustang drivers were road ragers. Man, I might have been fucking grossly misinformed.
I'm not touching that one.
If they run into it, that's fine. It's totally insured. I'll just get another one. So it's cool.
There you go.
Oh, well. Anyway, so I know it's been a couple of weeks. I know we had Mother's Day there last week, so we went and spent some time with our family. But in the last 2 weeks, we got lots to talk about, and I think we should start right about a week and a half ago with the Google I/O. So Google I/O, massive Google event every year. And as you guys can probably imagine, lots of very interesting official releases now. I know we've been talking about these things for a while. So I'm going to start with you, Tuna. Let's talk Pixel 7a first. So when you saw the announcement for the Pixel 7a, what was your initial reaction? Were you impressed?
Well, we kind of already, if you don't live in a bubble, I mean, you kind of already knew what to expect.
Yes.
I am not a huge fan of the A series. I think I'm not saying they're a bad phone by any means. I think there's a place for them. The only issue I have with the 7A is the price. I think $499 might be a little too steep. I know they added 90 hertz, and I think if it came out at $399, I think it'd been a better price point. But from what I've been seeing, they changed the camera sensors. But I'm not really concerned about camera sensors. We saw what Pixel can do with a 12 megapixel camera for 5 years. So I think it's a decent phone. The other issue I say is, do you get the 7 or the 7A?
7.
And it goes to build quality. I guess is what you'd have to go. You get the 7.
See, that's, you get the 7.
Right.
I mean, unless you're really looking for the 7A, which most people aren't, because the A device is supposed to be the accessible phone for consumers, right? Why in God's name at $499 would you even take a swing at the 7A when you can get possibly at the same price the 7 or even maybe $549?
I think the only benefits you're going to get, I think the only benefits you're going to get from the 7A is maybe one more year of support because roughly a year newer, maybe. I don't know. I could be off on that one. If you care about that stuff.
I don't think we're going to.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're losing him.
Day and flash and beta builds of Android 14. Those aren't your people that are buying a 7A, usually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
At $499, that's too high. It's just too high for that phone.
I think it's interesting that it did come in at $499. I know you just mentioned the price there. I think, if you think about it, like it still has a plastic back. Yeah, it's got wireless charging. Yes, it's got 90 hertz now, but so does a lot of these $399 Chinese phones, right?
Yeah, but that wireless charging it's like 5 watts, isn't it? Or 7 watts.
I know, it's so slow.
It's something ridiculously slow that it's going to maintain is all it's going to do.
Yeah. So I just don't understand where that extra $100 was spent. And I mean, look, I know things have got more expensive since COVID and all of that, but where it's still a plastic back, it still has, it has a 90 hertz. Okay, granted, wireless charging, cool, but surely that's not $100. Like $100 for a recoil, and I just don't see where the value is. And Tuna said there.
Interestingly enough, I think here in the US, I think Amazon is offering it for $449. I think they were recently, but still, like Sam said, I think it's a great phone for the certain people that were. The 6A is a great phone. When it was $299, when it was because we had. If you guys don't remember, the Nothing One phone came out when it came to the US, it started at $299, and it was very comparable. Granted, minus the camera tech. So I think if it was at $299, $399, I think that'd be a better price. But anything that you buy from Google is a heck of a lot better than any Sony device you're ever going to buy. I mean, Dan probably.
Dan and Sam both rocking Sony devices.
Yeah, I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
Yep. Now, Dan, is that the 7A?
That is the 7A, yes.
Okay, so we were just talking about that. Great timing, actually, there, buddy.
I was listening. I was just, I had to get a cup of tea,
Oh, sorry.
Of course.
That's what we do.
A cuppa.
When he says cup of tea, he means a cup of rum. But it's so Dan, I'll start with you. So you've had the 7A for, I'm imagining, probably about a week now.
3 days.
3 days, okay.
Ish, yeah.
So did you
full review? Full review. That's plenty of time. Plenty of time for a full review.
Best phone in the world. Buy it now. Done.
Okay, all right, done. We'll end the show on that. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
I think if that's funny that you say that, Dan, because I think if that ever happens, where we all agree that a phone is the best ever, this podcast is done. We have nothing else to talk about, right? So Dan, did you have the 6A? I was just going to start with you there, bud.
I had the 6A for about a month for review. I think it was roughly a month.
So better, worse, the same? What's your initial impression?
It's everything that the 6A was, which was great, but better.
Oh, okay.
Just that.
It should be better.
It feels the same, pretty much. Right. It's just that you've got the 90 hertz there. Cameras seem a little bit better. That's about it. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily setting the world on fire. I think for most people, the 6A is going to be a much better buy because you can get that for about 200 quid now. It's crazy. Yeah. It's still a great phone. It's still a great phone. I mean, obviously, everyone's going to say, well, get the 7 instead. But, there's a little bit more to it than that. But, yeah.
So
I would say the only reason you get the 7A over the 6A is if you absolutely have to have 90 hertz. If you don't have to have that, there's no reason why you should just go pick up a 6A for $200.
The 6A,
most people buying it are just not.
But doesn't the 7A? But isn't the 7A a better processor? Because the G2 was a significant upgrade from the original, wasn't it? I thought.
Yeah,
I mean they're AI focused.
Power wise, not so different, but
battery wise,
the radios and things are a little bit better, I think, than the original Tensor. So.
Dan, what are your thoughts on like things like the battery and camera? Are we seeing any marked improvement, or is it about the same there?
Pixel cameras don't tend to look too much different. They all look very similar. They all do a very, very similar thing. It's got a bigger sensor now. It feels like it does look better than it did on the 6A, but most people aren't really going to tell a difference. It just seems that Pixels they just perform either way.
Now, I heard they lack in video, but I don't think any Pixel phone has ever excelled in video. I mean, they've been great, but not like perfect. I heard the 7A.
I think they're solid.
I think that's what I was going to say too.
4K 60 on a phone at that price.
Which
How
is
quickly
very
does it
good.
overheat?
Yeah.
How long does it take to overheat?
I mean, it depends where you are, I suppose, in terms of temperature. But like at the minute here, it's like 20 degrees Celsius.
Right.
So I did a little 4K 60 test today for about 15 minutes.
Let me. I live in the U.S. We're Imperial. Let me convert that 20 to.
Oh, here we go. That's 134 degrees Fahrenheit.
134.
Yeah.
It's not really a scientific measure. I'm just guessing, but it sounds hot.
Hey, where do you live over there?
Basically, what Dan's saying is that the 7A is the perfect Canadian phone because it's always fucking cold here. So
if you're in a cooler place, the Pixel's going to be amazing.
Yes, right. There you go. Now, the plastic build. Forgive me. Did the 6A have a plastic build?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
it did. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I wasn't wrong there. So I actually think there's ever been.
I don't think there's ever been a phone with a glass build.
I don't think so either, from memory.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the 3A was plastic as well.
Yep.
What was the 5A? Was the 5A more of a sort of metal?
That was that.
I can't remember.
What do you think?
They'd have an A. Well, that was a 5. That wasn't the 5A. That wasn't the 5A though, was it? Oh, the 5A 4G. They had the 5A 4G or 5G or 5 or what was it?
That
was the 4A 5G. Yeah.
So I mean, I get the 7A. I mean, we knew that was coming. It's been leaked to all hell. Some pretty colors. I guess that coral's fucking ugly. I don't care what anyone fucking says. That coral is got to be the ugliest fucking.
Oh, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I do not like that. I think actually I like that. I like the main color. It's the metal. Well, I say metal work, but the visor and the frame, that reddish color. I'm not into that.
No,
it doesn't.
I just think it just looks like a can of fucking Fanta or pop or something.
Bam,
right? Yeah, Bam. Yeah, yes, something. I know the blue color is very nice, and I think that's a good throwback color to like the days.
That's the blue. The blue that I've got in this is with this gray case. It looks so good. To me, it looks so good. I love it.
Yeah. Now the question is, and we were talking about price. Do you think it's priced well, Dan, or do you think that it's probably about $100 too expensive?
I think for the fact that they've thrown in more things this time around, it was bound to be a bit more expensive. But the trouble is that everybody's saying, well, you'd get a Pixel 7 because the Pixel 7's dropped. You can get it for around 400, 450-ish.
Yep.
But a Pixel 7 is not going to be as appealing to most people, I don't think, as a 7A, with it being a little bit smaller, more practical cameras, that sort of thing. And also, when it comes to contracts and things like that, especially here in the UK, it's going to be cheaper generally for the 7A because they'll still charge the full retail price for the 7. So most people are still going to go for that cheaper option.
Well, the person we should be asking is the person who works for Google who just joined. He definitely knows all about Google. So, I mean, he tells the inner workings, So,
Dalvon, we're just welcome to the show, first of all. We're just talking about Pixel 7a, and we're talking about, did Google do enough? Like, is it worth the price, or is this just another affordable option for people that really want something kind of cheap?
For the most part, I want to say I think it's absolutely worth the price. The upgrades that they added from the first generation one is well worth it. I know it places it in a weird situation where it's between the 7 and the 7A, and the 7 might be a better option and stuff like that. But I think that, like I said in one of my videos, that I think this is like the beginning of a phase out of the 7 anyways. And we're going to probably end up with like 2 Pros. So we're going to get the 8 Pro, 5.8 inch, or 2 different sizes Pros. And then the 7A will become the new 7 and 6 series. So I think that a lot of people just, they're upset about it because it's happening, but Google have to start that phase at one point. And this is that start of that phase. So I think that is priced right. I think next year we're not going to get, the 8 obviously is not going to be $599, right? So then after the 8 come out, nobody's going to be talking about this after a while, once the 8A come out, because they're going to see that it's part of that little phase.
There was a leak. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So I was just going to say, I actually think the play here might be kind of a bit of an Apple play for Google, where they basically just have the Pro and the Pro Plus or something, and then just discount last year's model. Like, take the 7, make that the A.
That's
series,
what I keep thinking. Yeah.
See, I refuse. There was a leaked roadmap where they're saying that the A series could turn into like an SE, where instead of every 2 years they release an A series. And I think that'd be smart. But like Dalvon said, they are going to release a Pro and a Pro Ultra or whatever. So I think if they have those 3 options and they have a smaller 8 that's got the same specs as the 8 Pro, just a smaller screen, I think that's going to do really well for them. And then they have an A series every 2 years. We wouldn't have to nitpick these little tiny upgrades, because in 2 years, there'll be enough to say, hey, this is why it's jumped up, because this is how good it is. And by that time, you still have that 2-year extra security updates and OS updates and stuff too. So Google's trying to position themselves in a good way, but we haven't talked about the Fold or the Pixel tablet yet either. So there's a couple other options out there that could.
That's good segue there, Tuna. Nicely done. Nice play. So with the Pixel Fold. So let's just, first of all, why are you not releasing it in Canada? The fucking one place where this guy would have spent his fucking $2,000 on it to buy it. So I'll tell you a little story. So for those of you who don't know, the Pixel Fold was released. It seems to be a US only release currently, and I think that's more of a market test, and we'll talk about that in a second. But one of the things that so I did try to import it, So I had a US forwarding address, paid with my own PayPal account. I tried with my own credit card, and it just kept getting canceled.
It was a good effort.
I tried, honestly, 3 times. 3 times I tried 3 different ways, 3 different methods to try to import it. It's not going to happen. I mean, the only way I could do it is going through like GizTop or one of these.
Can I tell you something, Darren?
Yeah.
I went on their website and I actually pre-ordered it right away. It was no hassle at all. I canceled it, but I canceled it.
When the payment methods, were they all credit cards?
So no, so I tried a credit card, so a Visa card that I had, which is it is a Canadian card, and granted that's probably why they flagged it and canceled it. I did try PayPal, which is linked up to a bank account that I have. That got canceled. And then I ended up trying a different address, like as in like where it would be sent in the States to be forwarded on to me, just in case it was an address issue. And that didn't work either. So I think Delvon said that he was just going to buy it for me and send it to me. So, we should be good.
I did.
Actually, I got you $2,800. You can have it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're charging me extra. That's good. Perfect.
Well, it's a finder's fee and, living in America fee,
Well, I just figured Delvon's probably going to get it for free. Like he is Team Pixel. So.
He already has it. Yeah.
I have it right here, but I just can't show it on camera right now. That's all.
Right. Gotcha.
So,
right. Because we don't know anything about it now.
All right. So let's just do a quick, I'm just curious here. So initial impressions of the Fold. Let's just go around and just one word to describe your initial gut feeling. Let's go with Delvon first. Pixel Fold, one word, initial gut reaction.
Excited.
Okay. Tuna?
Can I have 2 words?
No, 1.
Nope, you gotta have one. You gotta have one.
Yeah.
I gotta have one.
I got it. Okay. Confused.
Okay, Sam?
There.
Okay, yeah.
That's not a word.
It's not even a word. It's more a sound. But
Okay.
I was going to go with that, but I'll just go with expensive.
Yes. So, okay, let's talk about the price first. So, is it $17.99? I think off the top of my head. Is that right?
Yes.
$17.99.
Very affordable. Yes, very affordable.
So it's expensive. I mean, it's Fold 4 expensive. And I guess it begs to ask the question, is it Fold 4 quality or worthy, I guess? That's the question to ask, right? Tuna.
Okay, so I watched the live stream and I had it in my cart, and it goes back to marketing. They got me all excited about what it could do and how it worked. I put in, and if you guys don't know, you get a free watch, but you can also pick the LTE version, which is $50 more, and it's still included in the same price. So I had it all in my cart, and I was having some trouble initially, but I couldn't pull the trigger. And after looking at it, and I know I'm not one of those guys, it's all about specs, but I have the Fold 4, and that thing, I play games on it. I do a lot of stuff on it. I think if it was even $1,300 is too much, but I could tell Dan, the new Sony Xperia 5 One Mark 5 just comes out for $1,400 or whatever it is. It's hard to say, oh my God, is that worth it? But that's a tried and true company who's been making that phone for 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So this is a Pixel first device, and everyone keeps complaining about the bezels. I don't even care about the bezels. I mean, they're there for a reason. They made that hinge different. They put it on the outside to make it better. It's thin. My biggest issue is, yes, it's going to have some good cameras, but I don't know. It's just those unknowns. Like the processor is made for AI, not for horsepower. So if you like to do a lot of gaming, so it depends on who you are and what you're going to use it for. But for $1,800, what general user is going to buy that device?
And you just said you use it for you play games on your phone.
Right, I play games. That's the main reason why I use it. That's why I can't.
Has it got video out and things like that? Has it got these features that you expect for something that's really
well? And Samsung's got that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big deal. I like. Right. Yeah. Right. And the Fold 5 is right on the corner. So the only thing I will say about the Pixel that I really, really like is I like the form factor. I like how it's a little bit shorter and wider when you open it. But
it's
besides that, it's super thin, and it sounds like everyone's like, "Oh, it doesn't lay flat." Okay, God, people can nitpick about the stupidest crap in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, oh, look at, I mean, the corners are rounded funny. Okay, you know what? Everything's rounded. I mean, so to me, it's just more the $1,800 and is the processor up to what I want to use it for? That was my biggest issue.
Yeah. And really, that's what it really boils down to is that here is a $1,800 device and it's a first gen Google. And for anyone that's been fans of Google, and Delvin might be able to attest to this, first generations of anything Google tend to be a bit of a fucking mess. You know, there's a lot of bugs, a lot of issues, and eventually they get fixed. Most of them. Now, I will just say this much, just getting back to the form factor. I agree with you, Tuna. I really, really like what they did with the Fold design. Shorter, you know, it's got that nice wide front cover display. It's thin. Is it going to be good on battery? I don't know. Tensor 2, the Pixel 7 Pro, they're not known for battery life. And I think this was brought up in a couple of different videos so far in hands-on. Is it going to be able to handle 2 fucking screens? Like, I don't know. Like, the battery's the same size, I believe, or maybe a little smaller than the Fold 4.
I thought it was bigger.
But it's really not 2 screens because it's not a dual screen device. So when it's open, that's on. The outer screen's off. When it's closed, the inner screen's off. The outer screen's on. So it's never truly a dual.
Oh, right. Okay.
Screen phone.
You make a point.
That's why I don't like it. So
well. Hold on. There was a translation a demo where they had both of the screens on at the same time doing that moment though. So that was like the only time
you're right.
Both screens was actually on.
I guess maybe there's a force mode and like developer options, but I mean, I guess there'd be maybe some reasons why you would have both, but that wouldn't be the general probably design is when it's closed, one's on. So, I mean, obviously they'll probably tell you if you want to use both, get ready because you're going to torch your battery, right? But
it just seems like for $1,800, is it really a device they really want to sell, or do you think it's just I don't know.
I think it's if we go back to Google's roots, remember they were a reference device, right? They want to get in this form factor and see if this really is the thing, right? And I'm still not convinced it's the thing. It might be, but I mean, again, if you're used a Duo, I'm telling you, you don't want to use I don't like single screen foldables. I just don't for 2 reasons. One, it never truly is a multitasking device. You can make it move it around and stuff, but it really doesn't function like it's supposed to with 2 independent screens. And the second thing is,
me too.
5, 6 years
too.
from now, and it's going to fail. I mean, it's going to fail depending on whatever, but you know, it's just what it is. So, I don't know if you already have a foldable like a Fold 4. The only draw would be the software for Pixel if you like that, and really the form factor. If you have got a Fold 4, I cannot imagine why you'd want to take a swing on this, especially at $1,800. I actually
would rather take a swing at the Fold 5 than this because, and here's why I say that is because the Gen 2 chip is so much more efficient. Now, if the G3 was a super processing powerhouse that had more efficiency and it was in that that Pixel Fold, I may have thought about it. But the G2 is a great chip. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'm sold on it being in a Fold. Just like I'm not trying to transition to anything else, but just like the Pixel tablet, is it good enough for that? Well, I think it's more suitable for the tablet than it is for the Fold, and I don't know why that is.
I mean, Google will sell them, but I just hope they didn't make 500,000 of them. I would say if you were smart, do like Microsoft did, make about 50 to 150,000 of them, so that way you're not sitting on a bunch of inventory in a year because I just don't think they're going to move a lot.
I think that's partly why it's so expensive is they've just not made money.
Right. But you think about it, they made too much. That means a discount for me later on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Or a hardware write down, right?
Yeah. So that's true. That's true.
The question is this just and it feels more and more like it, is it just a hardware experiment?
Proof of concept?
Is it proof of concept? That's exactly what I'm getting at, right? Like
for $1,800,
expensive proof of concept, but I don't know.
I know
maybe
it's easy for us.
Yeah,
I guess I know it's easy for us to say that because Google has always been failed with a lot of things, but Google is really taking it serious, believe it or not. I mean, they're got ads about it, and they got celebrities showing it off and everything like that. So we can't sit here and say that's an experiment thing, but I think they are trying to play smart by releasing in certain areas to see how well it goes before they throw too much money into it, because they already throwing money into it already. And as I said in my last video, I think that it is way priced too high. Not just because it's a first gen. I just feel like Google should have undercut them like they did the Pixels in the first place, because that would interest people more than what they're charging at the same price as Samsung.
Well, and a free watch. People who are paying $1,800 for that damn phone already have a smartwatch. They don't give a crap about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they have a Samsung watch or an Apple.
They're smart. They just sell the watch. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just sell it.
Did you see?
But they're trying to pull you into the ecosystem too. You think about it. Yeah. You got the fold in the watch. You're already halfway into. Let me rephrase that. So if King's listening, the mobile ecosystem. I mean, I think So to me, I think it's something. I don't know. I didn't like the watch. I think it was a beautiful watch. It was great, but it just didn't have battery. And that's my fear with the Pixel. Is it like you guys remember Google Glass?
Yes.
I paid $1,000 for that, and I tested it, and I loved every minute of that.
You buy everything.
Yes. I do. I try to. But anyways, it was a fantastic device, and I actually sold it and bought it again. And then I sold it real quick because I heard it was going to be going out for consumers.
Yeah.
But that was a first generation device. And when I had it, it was way before its time, and there was privacy issues. Now it's not a big deal.
And here's the thing. I agree with, and Tuna makes a good point, because the reason why you're willing to do that is because that's bleeding edge technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody else has it. You're willing to get into $1,800 because it's bleeding edge and there's nothing out there like it. Like there's no comparable device. Right now, you can't say that. So for Google asking for $1,800, you're not getting bleeding edge. Foldables aren't bleeding edge right now. They're
not
normalized.
Well,
right?
It's funny.
It might be new, but yeah.
It's funny that Sam says that. So I don't know, when here in Canada, as you know, the Fold's not being sold. And when they asked Google why, Google's response was classic. And I'll paraphrase it, but they basically said, Canadians don't give a fuck about folding devices. That was, it maybe not in those exact words, but that's exactly what it was.
That's not what it was. See, in colder climates, like we talked about earlier with Dan and the Pixel 7a, folding phones tend to crack and break more when it's cold outside. So like where I live in the United States, it gets cold and warm, so we have a good mixture. But in Canada, it's always cold, and we don't want to see your screen crack and break.
Everything's fragile. I know, everything just breaks.
And $1,800, you're not paying.
Yeah, they always want to pay for it in maple syrup. I'm like, we're tired of taking maple syrup as payment. You got to pay us money.
I tried to pay for my Fold with maple syrup. I told him I'd send them fucking 100 liters. And they were like, what the fuck
bud,
are you
we'll go ahead and send you some maple syrup and some tweets and a bunch of hockey pucks in there. Okay there, bud. Okay, bud. Yeah, so it's like I said, again, I would be willing. I mean, I paid $1,400 for the Duo and the Duo 2 because it was bleeding edge. Nobody else had it. And so it was kind of like, it's like if you're going to spend that kind of money, you want to have something that you can kind of have. It's just not bleeding edge. And with the Fold, I agree with Delvon. I think,
and it feels a bit special.
Fold 5, they should have undercut it by at least $300. Make it $1,499, and then go, hey, you could get that, but ours is more affordable, and it's a better form factor, and you get all the goodness of Pixel.
And Google and Samsung have worked together for so long. Why do they? Why would they go? I mean, when the first Fold came out, wasn't it like $1,800 or $2,000 or $1,900?
It was like close to $2,000.
And when they did that, you were told this is an expensive device. They had a free insurance card, and it came with a bunch of free stuff.
That whole thing was like a concierge service. That was like some high-end shit. You were buying like a Maserati with like a valet and everything else. That was.
We'll pick it up and give it an oil change for you. Yeah.
If you're gonna get into $2,000, it needs to be fancy schmancy. It's got to be a little bit better instead of just handing you a box, the Pixel box. Again, it's just like it's those little things that customers are looking for, and I don't think Google's really targeting it correctly.
So that kind of, I'm not trying to take the lead here, but
also look at it. Y'all also got to look at it as a business standpoint too, as well, because like think about it. Apple would do the same thing, right? There's no other competing foldables here in the market in the U.S. So Google can price it that way, and now people got a second option, and they're going to choose between the two, and that's just what it is, because we know which one is better, right? But the average person don't know. And it's just about the sales rep and what they're going to say and what they're offering. If they tell them, hey, if you get this Fold right here, then you get a free watch with it. What about if I get that Fold? Well, you get a you don't get nothing with that one because that one's already been out.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about.
But
these
also,
carriers and how they
Samsung.
sell.
It's the power of Samsung. Most consumers who are in Android who really aren't would think about swing on this. Like Google makes a phone. Well, how long? Samsung. Oh, well, I've had Samsung phones before, so and they've been pretty reliable. So I'm going to go with that instead.
Yeah, but you can walk into Verizon and you can walk into Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile and get a folding Samsung. You can't go anywhere and get a folding Pixel right now. No one's selling it right now.
Yeah.
At least in my, and I haven't noticed it yet.
The
carriers haven't picked up on it yet.
On the 30th. Yeah, on
But
the
they
30th.
will.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, okay. That makes sense.
Okay. Carriers.
Toe to toe, I just think Pixel is a loser. You're going to have to do something that moves the needle for you, and I think the price point was going to be the end, and they're just going to have to eat it for a bit to try to get traction on it. I just don't think toe to toe with a Samsung device, it's going to be a hard sell if you're going to pick one or the other. They'll get some people.
Hear this again. You know, not trying to be negative Nancy about it, but average people make payments on their devices in the U.S. here. Nobody goes in the store and drops $1,800 on a phone. So it wouldn't even be a decision between the price. It would be more of a decision of what you're getting. I mean, we know us. I'm talking about average people, bro. Yeah, straight up.
I'm average.
That's it. Yeah, straight up payments.
I like to think I'm above average, but just saying.
Well, you know, you guys talk about here. You talk about. I hate Darren. Don't make me mad. Don't get mad. But you talk about Pixel Fold fighting with the Samsung Fold. It's the same with the Pixel tablet. They're introducing yet another tablet where they failed before, and it's not a powerhouse, but they are going up against, unfortunately, Samsung, Lenovo. In the United States, that's about all we really have that's well known in the Android space. Well, and Apple, obviously, but Apple's tablets, unless you get the base model, is not even a competition if you are a content creator. If you're just a normal person, would you pick that base iPad for what is it, $349, or would you pay $499 for this, which has a dock which doubles as a smart screen? I mean, you're paying for the assistant. That assistant is badass.
You got a point. That would sell me for real. That would sell me. I mean, and it all comes down to the salesman too, because they can sell you on that. They can say, "Hey, you buy this tablet for a lot cheaper. You get a dock with it, and you can do this and control your lights and everything." And then people are like, "Ooh, that's pretty cool," you know. And they can.
Are they more likely to push Samsung though?
What's that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure when I go to my carrier, there's nothing.
That's what happens here.
Samsung. And when I walk in there, that's what they're pushing. They never push me to OnePlus because OnePlus is in there too. They never push me to Motorola, which is also in there. They always go with Samsung or Apple. So I don't think that carriers will push Google at all in there. But if Google had a cheaper price tag, that would have pushed themselves alone, because I have been in the stores where I've seen people walk up to OnePlus phones because they were so much cheaper. They were just looking for a better deal. And that's what drove them to it. While Samsung deals are good with their base models, but nothing like that with their higher end models. And people don't know the difference. When average customer think Android, they think Android as a whole, and every phone is, equal compared to an iPhone. So it's just what it is. It's really about those sales reps that's really pushing for the companies or whatever. Like now, if Google happened to pay T-Mobile and say, hey, y'all need to push our phones in these stores, then more than likely the reps are going to be having Pixel shirts on and, pushing everybody to buy a Pixel, So I guess it comes down to that. I don't know.
It's kind of funny. I almost feel as though maybe they should have waited for the Fold and released it with the Pro models. Like the 8 and the 8 Pro. And the reason I say it,
I said that too because of Tensor 3 G3. Yes. I said that.
And you could have asked $1,800 for it and had the new Pixel Watch out too with a newer processor and a better. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't work for Google like Delva does, so I don't know.
No, I told them in the office, but they didn't want to listen to me. I told them.
No, wait, hold on. When you say when you're at the office, is it kind of like Dunder Mifflin? Does it run the same way? Because that can make a big difference.
Sometimes they put me in a little space, and I go, look, man, we need to release this and when the G3 is ready, and we need to release it at the same time as the Pro models, and we shouldn't be releasing it right now. And I think I need to shrink these bezels because people crying about them. They was like, no. But look, let me let y'all know something, right? If y'all notice, like in the ads on the Pixel, they're using that Pixel the long way portrait mode the most. And if you look at the Fold that way, it actually makes sense about those bezels now. It really makes sense at that point because if you swap it that way, then you're holding it like this.
Yeah.
So you actually hold the bezels. And I've seen them actually use it in that manner instead of folding it like that and using it like, what we're thinking, but they actually turn it and then hold it like that. So in that sense, it actually makes sense. And it looks like a regular tablet if you look at it that way.
I think where it's going to sell the best are those Google storefronts that exist some places in the United States, right? I think when people can walk in and see it, and if they, and maybe in carrier stores too, if they do a good job displaying it and, doing that very kind of like Google thing that they do, which is about making it, like the what do we call it? The everyday person's kind of device. I think they might sell some. Are they going to sell hundreds of thousands of millions? No, definitely not. But I think for the people that do get it, and I think what I'm waiting for is those horrible YouTube videos where people go into Best Buy and they're like, "Oh, look, here is the Pixel Fold."
Yes.
I'm waiting for those kind of videos.
First look.
Yeah, first look. Yeah. So I don't know. I think.
Well, here's what's interesting: is Samsung's got a lead because their development has been 5 years in the making, so they have the newest processors. If you haven't noticed, Vivo, Honor just released their folding, whatever it's called, VS, and it's got the 8 Gen 1 Plus, so it's got the last year's model. And I think it's because the R&D is taking so much longer, and if you don't have a good track record of things rolling, that's why Google's probably been working on this phone for a year and a half. That's why, or whatever, a year.
Honor
so
are at least selling at a lower price. I mean,
it is.
It's like $13.99.
It is cheaper, but it's I hate that 8 Gen 1 is probably better than the 10s or 2.
8 plus Gen 1 is better.
Yeah, don't crucify me on that.
It's definitely better. It's definitely
the Plus
better.
is more efficient too. But the problem with the Honor one is it's still the same setup as like the Fold from Samsung. So if you want the wide, OnePlus is going to release theirs coming up here. What they say. July or August, I think. I'm announcing that, and that's very similar to the Google Pixel Fold, but we'll see. They got the chops from Oppo, so that should be interesting.
Basically, like a Find N2, right?
Yeah, if they release a Find N2 folding device, like if it looks anything like that from OnePlus, that's the one that's going to win.
Well, here's the thing, and that's what's good about all of it. For us as consumers, well, not just us, but everyone out there, it's going to push the needle for more competition. It's going to push Samsung to do better. It's going to push Google to do better, and they have to, or they're going to lose the market share. So I think, and Apple's just going to sit there and wait until they reinvent the wheel, and then they will steal the show. So, and Delvin won't have a job anymore unless he goes to work for Apple.
Yeah. I might have to cross ships, man. I don't think Tim Cook like me, man. I don't.
No, Tim Cook loves. No, Tim Cook loves him some Delvon Digital. He watches you all the time. He called me and told me. He called.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I will tell you right now, though.
If I lose my job at Google, I'm going to Apple.
If Apple makes a foldable, that's probably going to be when I pull the plug.
Yeah.
Whoa! Don't be so negative. Don't pull the plug on yourself.
No, I'm saying.
I'm kidding.
Was that an old joke? Was 2&A making an old joke?
Yeah.
I was like, that's impressive. That was pretty.
It's one of those dad jokes,
No, I would say that if they would have that form factor, I think I could get into iOS and give it a swing. I think I could. I would probably still own an Android device, but I think that would really be something I'd like to see how that.
I'm okay with iOS. iOS isn't bad. I don't like Mac OS. I'm not trying to get.
I'll never buy a Mac.
I hate to say this. I've had the MacBook. Now, hey, nothing wrong with the Mac itself. I just don't. I'm a Windows user my whole life and DOS before that. I can't get my head wrapped around Mac, and I don't want it. I don't want to. So for me,
did you say DOS?
Hell yeah, DOS.
Sam was old.
Yeah.
I thought Sam was old. Jesus.
Yeah. Fortran and BASIC and shit. I'm real hard old.
All the commands you have to do to start a game. Come on.
No, like I said, it's nothing against Mac. I like PC, and also, I will say this is more petty. It's the people who use Macs that drive me nuts. because here's the thing, and it's not Delvon. Delvon is the exception to
I
the
just
rule.
sold mine, so you can't hate me now.
Oh, no, I love Dan. No, what I'm saying is when I work in tech support and I work in software development, and I'm telling you, when people are on a Mac, they don't know how to use it. They don't. They have no idea how to really use their device that way. And then you have to tell them, oh, well, that's a thing. And they're like, mm-hmm. And they're like, well, how come Safari doesn't work on government systems? It's like, because nobody in the government uses Safari. Not ever. It's not coded for it. And not yet and not ever.
Right.
If you work in government circles, I'm telling you, they're about 25 years behind in software when it comes to that. They're not bleeding edge software adopters. I'm just telling you. So,
hey, for the record, I am 25, I believe, but my birth date has been expunged, so I don't know how old I really am. Just throwing that out there.
Oh,
he's younger than Delvon, older than me. Let's just say there.
Gotta be.
So you guys mentioned the Pixel tablet. Like, can we just take a moment to just have a quick chat about that? So, so pretty much everything that was leaked was correct. You know, basically Tensor 2, docking station, all of that fun stuff. Is it enough to sway iPad users?
No.
No, and I don't think they're not. I don't think Google.
They're not trying to do that. I don't think
Google's.
No,
yeah,
they're
not. They're not even. Matter of fact, if you think about the whole Pixel lineup in general, they're not even trying to come at Apple, or they're not even trying to come at Samsung, because everything that they're trying to do is build everything around AI and being smart, being an actual smart device when you buy from them. That's why I don't get why people keep complaining about gaming on the Pixel. If you want to game on a phone, the Pixel is not for you. If you want a really smart phone that do a lot of AI stuff, then the Pixel is exactly that. That is the target for what they're creating. If you think about what Google is building, so their Pixel tablet is the same. There's no exception. I just think the only thing that bothers me about the tablet is 60 hertz, because I really was going to get it and get a stylus and draw with it and have a good time on it. But no, that's it. But other than that, it's going to do everything smart that you would want it to do.
Does it have stylus support? Does it have stylus support? Does it have pen support?
It has
the selling one.
Yeah, it has a universal.
Oh, it's got the universal. Okay.
Yeah, so you can buy one to work with it. So unfortunately,
I don't know. I think I said from the beginning, I think the docking idea was the best idea they had for the tablet, and I think that is going to be a big selling point for that particular device. But 60 hertz, I agree. Like, I mean, it seems like I know. Listen, and I know what you're going to say, and I know this is already locked up in someone's brain here. The standard iPad's only 60 hertz. I'm well aware of this. Yes, but if you're trying to outdo Apple at their own game, if you're coming after that base model iPad, which they may not be, but if we think about what tablets exist in the world today, it's either Apple, Samsung, and now Google. There is nobody else. So if Google legitimately wanted to make something that could compete with that base model iPad, which, remember, is still the best-selling iPad to this day, for Apple, they needed to go above and beyond, right? They just haven't done that, I don't think. I mean, the dock is cool. It is.
Why couldn't they get 90 hertz? Why?
I know. I don't know.
Okay. Hold on.
You could have done that. Wouldn't have been that hard. I understand 120 would be a little bit.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
When I look at a product before, especially when you pre-order it, I try to watch every video, read every article. And what you come to find out is there's so many different people out there that use things for different reasons. Exactly. And I think when you think of the base model, when I think of the base model, I don't even know what it has. An A14? I don't know. Does it even have an A12? I don't even know what it has. The base model iPad is given to kids because it's cheap. And if they break it, they're not out a lot of money, even though $300 is a lot of money to a lot of people. And it can play almost everything. You look at the Pixel, and it's like, it's not a gaming, it's more of a home device. And I've read, the dock is great, but the speaker sucks. I love it because I don't have to create. It's not the M1, iPad. I don't want to. I'm not using my iPad to create videos, so this is a perfect one for me. So every video you watch, it's like, this is a magical, perfect device, and oh my god, this is stupid. Why you're releasing it? I think it really depends on what you need it for. For me, I have a bunch of home speakers in my house. JBL, Lenovo, and Google has come out and said, hey, we're not supporting any other third-party smart screens anymore. So I'm looking at a bunch of devices that may not work anymore for a while or not getting more updates. And we've been having a lot of issues with like just YouTube working. We say, hey, I'm not going to say the hot word, play this. It'll say, what room do you want to play it in? I'm like, it's just not working. So I think this is poised to take over a lot of that stuff. And I think as a home screen, that's perfect. It's a digital frame. And then when you want to watch some videos or you snap it off. That's my thing. But
my worry is that it'll be cool in the beginning, and then I'll just use it as like a hub max. It'll just become a fucking.
That's exactly what's going to happen, and that's why I won't buy one because I don't need. Yeah. I don't have a hub max, and this is a lot more expensive. You can buy a hub max for what, $179?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Crazy because if I got it, it would be less of a hub max for me because the simple fact that I actually use my tablet to watch movies and YouTube and everything, I'll be holding it.
And
It'll be off the dock more than often because
Right.
I can't see myself docking that on the side of my bed. I gotta
Yes,
have a
huge.
table that levels it to the perfect level because the dock is not adjustable. So it'll be in my
Yes.
little tablet
Right.
holder.
Delvon has to like lay on your side and have to pull a pillow up and adjust it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
See, Delvin,
Yeah.
that's
So-
just what I said. That is going to work for certain individuals, and I think it's going to sell well. You know, the last Pixel
Oh, yeah, I
tablet, what
think
was
so
that called?
too.
The Slate. I love that
Yeah.
Slate, but it ran Chrome and it wasn't ready yet. So I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
Google throwing. This is a more ready device. I think with the Pixel line, they have we. You guys can't maybe disagree with me, but I think the Pixel line in general is more consumer friendly. They've done a little more research, and they know most people who use their tablets aren't traveling. They're sitting in their house, staring at it, watching some YouTube videos, doing some quick texting, maybe some, Google Docs work. They're not sitting there playing Call of Duty. And then
No.
play it, just won't look really good.
Yeah, well,
And the speaker, I heard the speaker.
You said the key word. You said the key word when you said consumers because y'all keep time we're tech guys, and every time we talk about tech, we always want the best of the best of the best, but we never really consider the average consumer and what their needs are. And Google knows these companies knows their needs better than us. It's just because we want that. We want the 90 hertz. We want 120 hertz. I want an S Pen. It ain't. You don't hear customers saying that. Customers don't really know what they want until they just buy it, and then they feel like then they use it, and they're like, oh yeah, this works for me.
For me personally, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the Tab S9 Ultra. I had the S8 Ultra and I loved it. I got the wrong amount of space.
I'm waiting for the S9 too.
Yeah, I got the 128 gig. It wasn't enough. So next time I get it, I'm gonna get a little bigger one. But I use that thing for everything. I used the Dex. I used the keyboard. I even edited some videos to see if I could do it. Now that was a little bit of a weird thing, but I think with the 8 Gen 2 and now we have LumaFusion, I think we're gonna have anything else.
Right there.
You need to sell that and get the OnePlus pad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sell it because I like tablets, so I'm just gonna buy another tablet. I collect tablets, so no. But I do want that tablet. I really do. I want to see what it's about. I really want it. There's no. All right, the Galaxy tablet is good, right? I got the 7 Plus and the 8 Plus. The 7 Plus is really showing its age because it's the old chip and it's laggy and all this stuff like that. But it's still good for like the basic stuff that I need for. I just try not to do much on it anymore. The Gen 8. Gen 1 with the 8 Plus, it's a lot better. But I'm just waiting for that Gen 2. Gen 2 was the evolution of change right there for me. And I just can't wait to have that in the Galaxy S9 Plus.
Is it going to be enough to upgrade? Is it going to be enough? Because it looks very similar. Nothing's really going to change.
I don't
think so.
Well,
okay.
I don't really care about that. What I care about is the chip because I believe that moving forward with the S23 Ultra with the Gen 2 chip, that Samsung longevity of lag and issues and everything like that may be gone. Not fully gone, but it'll be a good solid device for years. And right now, my Tab S7 Plus is really showing its age. And I don't like that. But my iPad, my 2019 iPad, it's still good. It's still smooth. I mean, it does lag too. I'm not gonna say it don't. It do every so often, but it's way more smooth than it lags. But every update I get on the Galaxy tablet, it's like it just get worse or sometimes, and I gotta reset it. I gotta do this and do that. So
maybe you should save your money for the Elon Musk bot that could cook you dinner and breakfast and do everything for you.
I want that.
That's true, but that's why I also wanted the Pixel tablet because I know Google is good. They're good with their software as Android. So
yes,
I know
they
that
are.
The longevity of that tablet will be smooth 5 years down the line,
hopefully,
just like Apple would.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Google has a bad track record with tablets. They really do.
I don't know how old is the Pixel 4 XL? I think that's like 4 years old or something like that. Maybe. That phone still flies. Like I
it's
still
a
own
great
that
phone.
That's
their standard with the Pixel brand, though, right? They're going to update it. They're going to unless they abandon the range completely.
Yeah, you're hoping with the Pixel line they've ironed all the things out and they're going to support it. They're not going to abandon it. I think that's why this Pixel line was the introduction of, hey, we're going to stop like jumping away from things. If it says Pixel in front of it, we're going to hang on to it for a while. So hopefully that's true.
Well, that's their entire mobile strategy.
Yeah.
Right. So they can't go back now. It's too late. If Google decides to ditch anything that's Pixel or Pixel Lite, Pixel Fold, Pixel Tablet, Pixel phones, if you back out from Pixel, you're off mobile. You're out of mobile altogether. That is your entire leveraged mobile.
Yeah,
strategy.
they've lent hard.
They have lent all. They've leaned all the way in, and they're here for it, and they're going to stick it there.
Are they?
All the way till it
I mean, they have to do, don't they?
Well, when is the Delvon edition Pixel coming out? That's what I'm waiting for.
I want the green. I want the green colorway.
24. Man, that was quick. He knew already.
Yeah, I already knew, man. And it's gonna be green. It's gonna be green. It's gonna be like
green.
Yeah,
Michelangelo.
Yeah,
like Teenage Mutant.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's gonna have a matte
black
back.
rim. Yeah, green.
I was thinking black, but I was
Yeah.
thinking more like I was thinking about maybe a different off green. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make the whole phone green, so make it off green a little bit on the sides. But it's definitely gonna have a matte back for sure. I got you.
It's not gonna be Pixel 5 green, is it? That fucking thing is ugly.
Darren. So Darren kind of runs TNT. I mean, this is his baby. Are we gonna get a TNT shoe?
Yes, we are. Yes, it's true. It's gonna be made. It's gonna be made by Crocs. Crocs is going to be the one making it.
No, I don't want a Croc. I'm not wearing a Croc.
They're going to have lights in them?
Yeah, that's it. It's going to have a little fucking badging on the end, like a fucking Disney World.
But here's the real question. Will you sell them in the U.S.? Or you ain't going to sell them in Canada?
I'm not going to sell those fucking things in Canada. Fuck you, Google.
Canadians love Crocs. We love Crocs.
Yeah. Speaking, so just getting, I know what you guys were talking about the Buds 2 Pro. So, just last couple of days have been talk about a big Galaxy Buds update and Pixel Buds update. So basically, Pixel Buds Pro, the story that came out, I think it was yesterday, saying that a major update's on its way. Apparently, the clear calling feature is going to be coming to the Pixel Buds Pro. Now, for those of you who don't know, the clear calling is Google's AI technology that makes phone calls super clear. Now, the question is, what's that going to look like for sound on the Pixel Buds Pro? Because it's reported that they're also including what they call super wideband speech, probably the dumbest name ever, which will improve voice quality by increasing the bandwidth from 16 to 32 hertz.
That'll make a huge difference. That'll make a huge difference. It's saying calls should sound fuller, in turn providing a better overall sound experience. I also heard that they're going to have some. Well, they're also they're going to have some. Right? They're going to have some AI that if you're walking down the street and a car horn beeps, it will actually cancel that out, which is crazy. I don't know how much Apple or Samsung do that, but I'll be honest. I run maybe twice a week. I know it doesn't seem like much for people who run marathons, but I stick with my Samsung 2 Pros because they work with my watch and I don't have to carry a phone with me. I have not, I'm going to be the negative Nancy here today, but I haven't been impressed with the Google Pixel Buds Pros. I don't even use them anymore.
Yeah.
The Samsung ones are so much better for me.
I have the A series and I like them.
I don't have the A series. My wife has the A series. My wife loves the A series.
My wife and I, my wife bought a pair and she pairs them to her iPhone because she liked the ones I had. So we both have a set and I like them. I mean, I
think it depends. To me, it's more about fit. Like the OnePlus sound great. The OnePlus sound great. They don't fit in my ear right. The sound. What's the one that Dalvin was talking about? The ones.
Anchor.
The Anchor ones are the one. Yeah, they're great, but I hate how they go in your ear. I don't like that. I just don't. They sound great.
And it doesn't. From that article, it doesn't sound like they're going to do that for the A series, which is fair.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, it's a lower one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think the flavor of the month happened to be sound because the Buds 2 Pro is apparently getting more control over the how much ambient sound you can hear. So basically, under volume settings, you're going to basically have the ability to independently select each earbud to determine how much ambient sound you're letting in. And apparently there looks like there's going to be an adaptive ambient sound, which apparently adds more clarity to environmental sounds getting into the earbuds. So again, it looks like sound quality is the flavor of the month for these updates, right? Like they're trying to bring clear calling versus just, I think more than just music experience, which is, I think, what most people use their buds
It depends on where you live, too. I don't live in New York City where I'm walking around with streets of thousands of people where it's got to cancel out a lot of noise. I live in the middle of where there's maybe 10,000 people in my town, and the worst thing you have to deal with is wind when you're walking down the street. So I think for me, that stuff doesn't really matter much. I think maybe the beep of a horn might help, but for the most part, it's. I think it depends on where. It's great if it's free and they're offering it. Hell yeah, take it, jump on it. I thought you were going out the new Beats translucent headphones.
You just read my mind because I was about to talk about those. So I know we mentioned them a couple of weeks ago, but they've officially been released now. So what are they called? Fuck, I don't even remember.
Nothing ripoffs? I mean, the Beats. I'm sorry.
Beats Plus, sorry, they're called
the Nothing
Beats.
headphones.
Yeah.
So much better.
So I was gonna share my screen here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. But this is what they look like. So this is I guess Beats' answer to the Nothing phone or Nothing Buds, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And so they're officially released. They look interesting to say the least. Price wise, I think they're around about $199. Like,
so Carl Pay reviewed them yet?
He did.
Did he? Oh, okay, I haven't seen that. Okay. And what was the initial reaction there?
They don't touch a Nothing.
No, well, that's it, right?
No, I'll be honest. For the price you pay for, I hate Nothing is a small company. They've got a long way to go, even with the phones. But they're doing something. They're bringing back like the old school OnePlus, which I know he had ties to. They're bringing back that. Hey, we're not gonna sell you short. We're gonna give you something for a decent price. And I think it's been amazing. I don't have the newest one, Nothing Buds. I think Delvon may have tried them, but I have the ear stick 2s, and I love those things. I've had some issues with some of them. The first ones that came out with connectivity issues, but these last ones were great. I want to try the 2s. I just don't want to. I've got like 10, 15 pairs of earbuds. I can't use them all. So
I'd say the headphones earbuds I had that I really liked were the Jabra 75Ts.
Those were good too. Those were good.
For me, they fit perfectly. Like,
and that makes a big difference.
When I went to sleep, they didn't I laid on them. They didn't poke me, and they were nice and flat. Until they finally just shit the bed after a couple of, I really like the Jabras. I thought they sounded well. They fit well and had pretty good battery life. For the most part, but I've had the A series now for a little bit, and I really like them. I'm just going to stick with those. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how well the Pixel Buds Pro have been selling for Google. I know people do like them, and there are lots of people out there that are big fans. But yeah, I don't know. Roddy was just mentioning here. He's just saying, isn't Beats owned by Apple? I believe they still are.
They are.
Yeah, I think so.
So, but it's interesting that they're releasing something that's so similar to the Nothing Buds. Maybe that's just their way of competing. And I think we talked about this before, where I think the Beats line for Apple is kind of like it's not AirPods quality. It's kind of
their bastard child. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, like the bastard child, everyman kind of like earphones, right? But yeah, it's interesting to see. I know Mike just joined the show. He's in the chat here. He's talking about the Nest Wi-Fi Pro. Been having issues with the current routers. Hopefully they perform well. So, Mike, I will direct you to take a look at the one-cut review of the Nest Wi-Fi Pro. You can take a look at that. Check out the website there, Mike. But
whoa! Hold on.
Shameless plug.
The Wise Router Pro as well. They've got theirs out there too.
Yes, true. So, I know we don't talk all that much about routers. Maybe we actually should.
We should. They're important.
Yeah,
yes, for sure.
Yeah. So, it's powering everything that we do right now. So let's go around. Tuna, what are you using currently as your router of choice?
I don't know the exact model. I think it's the TP-Link Deco 75. It's a 6E router. I recently purchased it, but I'm having a lot of trouble. See, where I live, we got to either pay rent for the modem or buy our own. Yeah. And I just got gigabit service available to me, and they have to come out and look at they said my router might not be good enough. I'm like, it's a brand new 6E. What the hell are you talking about? They don't know what they're talking about. But right now I have Spectrum or Time Warner, and the fastest I can go is 1 gigabit, but it's like $200 a month. When this company locally said they would charge me $80 a month for 1 gigabit. I'm like, shit, I'm switching. But yeah, 6E is what I got now. I know 7. TP-Link does have a 7 now out, but I don't know how many devices that even support 7. Maybe the S23 Ultra does. I don't even know. But yeah, so I got a TP-Link.
Actually. Yeah.
I'm thinking about switching to Wise router, but I'm waiting for them to iron out some kinks first before I jump on it. So,
what about you, Dan?
Literally just the one provided by the internet provider. I not got anything special. I'm looking for something soon, but I used to use a Netgear router that was pretty good, Nighthawk one.
Right.
But I need to look into something new.
Sam?
Well, I don't have a lot of options because where I live, I have AT&T Uverse, and it's really not that great out here. The problem is I have a Linksys router behind it, but the problem is you can't pass through on AT&T's router. If you try to use a pass through to connect to it, they'll block it.
Right.
So
wow.
And their hardware is total trash. The switch they give you is just shit. So I've tried to pass through it and I get blocked every time. So it's whatever. So no, I just have I just got the basically essentially AT&T router. I basically use the other one as an access point because it will let you access point, but I try to set it as a pass through. And AT&T said, "Well, you can't do that." I was like, "Well,
it was the same with our last provider."
Then quit sending me hardware that sucks ass, and then I won't have to use your busted ass shit that's 8 years old. And just let me pass through it. And they're like, "No, we can't do that." So
I'm glad that's an issue in most parts of the world because that's an issue here in Canada too. We'll get to that. Dalvon, what about you there, bud?
Well, I'm currently using my providers as well, which is a panoramic router, which also support Wi-Fi 6 or whatever. But next week I'm ordering the Nest Wi-Fi Pro. Me and Mike, we just literally had a conversation about it the other day, and I decided I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade and get that. I mean, I got everything else Google in here, so I just kind of want to go out and get that too as well. So I will be getting that next week.
For me personally, I had the Nest Wi-Fi Pro, and it was good. The only problem with what I found is
double trouble.
They just sit there and look at me the whole time.
Like the dog's doing. My dog's looking right at my face, like, "What do you want?"
So I did have the Nest Wi-Fi Pro, and it was very good.
Who wrote that article? I see a bunch of mistakes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The font is small.
The only problem with the Nest Wi-Fi Pro, I fucking lost my train of thought now. Anyway, sorry, it wasn't really working that well with my service provider. For some reason, I couldn't get them to talk to each other. I had the TP-Link AX11000, I think it's called. It's a gaming router. I'm still using that one. I've had that one for about 2.5 years now, and it seems to be pretty good. I mean, again, I'm using my service provider, but I just don't use the router. I've got it, bridged to a different router. But the Nest Wi-Fi Pro is a very good device. It is a 6E device, so it's there. It's the latest and greatest you're going to get. But yeah, just kind of interesting. I mean, I know we don't talk about routers all that much, but it's kind of important with what we do.
Well, and mine is a mesh, which is the most popular version. I do have 3 of them, and I think that actually causes problems because I don't have a huge house, but I have a lot of brick walls in the basement. So I have one in the garage, one in the basement, one upstairs, and it kind of spreads it out pretty good. But I've noticed, I'll come home one day and everything just turns off. I have to reset my router and my modem, and I'm assuming it's the router, not the modem, but the modem is getting kind of old. So I don't know. Yeah. And I never had this problem with TP-Link before. They did enough updates and it kind of ironed itself out. But this one's been every 3 months or so, I've got to reset everything. And when you have a bunch of smart home devices, it is a kind of pain in the ass. But
my buddy just ran Cat 6E throughout his whole house. He built a house and ran.
That's
6E.
exactly.
Nice. And now he's got his outlet jack, and he's got 6E, so we just plug right in. He doesn't need a wire. I should have done that. That's what I should have done. I just run 6E throughout the whole house, and it's just a regular jack, and boom, plug it in right there. Yeah. I don't have any wireless or anything. Just
when I say everything's shutting down, that's something that you had an issue with the Nest Pro.
Me?
Yeah.
What was happening is that I have gigabit service here in my home. And with the with the TP-Link, I can easily get 900 down on a good day. When I hooked up the Nest Wi-Fi Pro, for whatever reason, I just wasn't getting that kind of speed, even though it is meant to be a better mesh router. So I was maybe getting 450 to 500, which I found was a pretty significant kind of degradation in speed. I could not figure it out. It went through a bunch of software updates and through Google. I just could not get it. I don't know if it was my provider's issue or if it was a Google issue. I toyed with it and played with it for a couple of months. And
that's where routers... And that's where router is so important because it does everything for you. So when you have an issue like that, like I want to try the Wise one out, but I hear like, oh, it runs really hot and it doesn't really have much. I don't care about tinkering with it that much. I just want it turned on and have some security. But for me, it's like the TP-Link, the last one I had tons of issues like that and they ironed them all out. And I thought the same thing with this one. It's getting better. But I don't know. I think I wanted to try Google because I figured they had a good track record, but I didn't jump on the Google one at all.
450. If you know what I get here, 32 maybe on a good day.
32 what?
Okay.
Megabytes. It's
down?
Yeah.
Wow.
I live in a rural area. And all I have is AT&T versus I have no other ISP option.
Yeah, we have two, and I have two in one area. Yeah.
Dude, if I could get Charter or Spectrum or T-Mobile's, if I could get 100.
What about Starlink, Sam?
That's expensive, though.
No, I'm just gonna live with it. Like I said, eventually, apparently AT&T says we're on their roadmap. I don't really know what that really means. Yeah. Basically, that means we'll get bent because we're never gonna.
It's 5 years. A roadmap means "fuck you." We'll get you when we get you. That's that's how they talk in Canada here. So
right, exactly. So I just he said I suffer through in silence.
Yeah. Just quickly before we wrap up today, guys. So I know I've got Dan here, and I know he's a big Xperia fan. So we got to talk a little bit about the just really quickly the Xperia 1V here, Dan. So is it a yay or a nay?
It's looking like a big yay for me.
Now I can see. I know Sam has the 5. Yeah, a couple of Xperias in the house.
5.
What is that? Sony makes phones?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, I got one too. I got. Oh wait. I got one too from Sony right there.
Right. Cover the other side. The other one.
Other side.
Cover the small 2 ones. There you go.
Now it's back.
All right, there we go. See my Sony camera?
See, it says so old.
So, I know in North America, here in Canada, at one point, Sony smartphones were very big and probably as big as your Apples and your Samsungs.
Yes,
I know in the UK, Dan, are they still relatively big in the UK?
No, they're not really big anywhere.
Right. Okay.
Or maybe Japan.
Now I know
China's quite popular.
Maybe in Japan.
Even the Japanese are like, we have Apple, we have iPhones.
So Dan, what's the draw card for you on the 1.5?
The new sensor from
new sensor, new sensor tech.
Yes,
it's something a bit different to what is available everywhere else, and it's going to filter down to everything else at some point as well. So it's tech you can expect to see in all the other phones at some point. So it's pretty exciting stuff. I think just having the 8 Gen 2 in there as well with the issues that they had last year, because this can get a little bit toasty. Sam might have experienced that with his as well. But they've also increased the thermal solution. There's lots of extra little bits that they've improved. So I'm pretty excited because I use it as my YouTube camera. So I use it for everything.
Okay.
So do they have software for OBS or something like that, or?
Not for streaming, more so. I use it I can use it as a camera if I'm using the.
I see what you're saying.
Okay. Ultra at the minute as a camera, but for like recording the video, you can hook up wireless microphones to it fine and works with everything.
I know.
I'll tell you this much: I have not figured out any of the camera features yet. The shit is it's like what is it's like the cinema.
Well, if you don't use a DSLR or like it's hard. It's
Pro.
I'm just like I even put a little, I'm like looking at this and I go, oh look, Camera Pro, Photo Pro, okay, great, and I got Basic because I am, and then I go, oh look, let's try Auto. I was like, that's a little better. And then I get to these other S and P and MR, and like, dude, and just like I see shit like this. And I go, okay, I don't know what any of these fucking things do.
It's just better.
But I mean,
just
if here's the thing, if you're a camera, and I know Delvon is, if you're a
I
camera
feel
person,
Delvon would be perfect for this.
dude, this is right up his alley because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Like,
I would be
amazing the level.
I would be very interested in your opinion on it.
Yeah, Delvon, I think I would too. Yeah, for sure.
I like it. I'm just overwhelmed.
I want to try a lot of phones just for the camera, but I got to figure out how to get my hands on them without having me spend all this money on them because I'm not going to.
Yeah, these aren't cheap. These are not cheap.
Yeah, but
exactly. Man.
Having that capability is just wild to me. I'm like, when I just look at it, I'm like, for a regular user, it's literally overwhelming. All the stuff we can really do.
So I pre-ordered the phone, and it's awful amount of money. Yes. I have a chance to still cancel it because it doesn't come out to the end of the month, which is nice because you get to read all the reviews. But here's what I will say, and Dan may not know this, but before I was into YouTube, I bought. There's a couple of YouTubers that I watched for many years. I would actually let them loan my phone, my phone, so they could try them out. I like to try different phones, and I tried Sony for so many years, and I never stuck with them. But there was always something about Sony, and I don't know if it's the 4K screen because I don't really care about a 4K screen. It's just something about they're longer and narrower, and it's the aspect ratio. I think it just sets itself apart. And I think what Sony is doing with this latest one is with the CMOS sensor. I think it's going to be, it's not groundbreaking, it's not earth shattering, but it's different enough to set themselves apart. They got a two-step camera shutter button, and they always have, and that's amazing.
Pretty clean Android, right?
Yeah, and
phone jack is pretty good. SD card, which is great.
Yes,
and you get the SD, and you can get it open with. You don't need a tool.
Sam like beat me to the punch on everything.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's just like if you're an old school Android person, this is the last vestige of old school Android.
It's got everything.
Everything that you used to love about Android devices, this is the last home.
But here's the problem with it. Yeah. If you're not a video file or a camera person, it does make it more difficult. Now I've been told that Sony's putting a lot of AI in their newer DSLRs. I'm hoping it kind of transfers into their phones for the general consumer, because as for me, I'll play with the settings and I'll use the pro mode, but the general consumer is going to look at this and say, kind of like what Sam says, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with all this?
Well, and that's they're not going to know. I don't have to. I can leave it on basic mode. And I can use it on auto mode.
But their basic mode has never been really good. It's never been fantastic. Dan can disagree with me, but
I don't disagree. I mean, the basic mode has been a bit of a problem, more so because their software has not really been up to scratch, and it is like using a normal camera. But at the same time, I don't like to talk about what the general consumers think about it, because there are no general consumers looking to buy an Xperia.
Exactly.
Yeah. People that buy an Xperia, they want that specific feature set. So
you're right.
And for me,
they know
it
what they're
was
buying.
more
they know what
of,
they're buying.
I'd rather have the camera capability and not really leverage it or use it unless I absolutely have to. For me, it's more of I want a headphone jack. I want an SD card. I want those. And
I mean, not everybody uses cameras that much, and they're not really bothered about cameras.
And I do like the form factor. It's a little different when you're first using it, especially I switch back to a regular phone with the regular aspect ratio. I like it. And it's the 5, so it's the smaller one. So it fills that niche of a smaller device, a compact. I like it. I'm really enjoying it, really honestly.
But I think I do think the Mark 5
it's
a big step.
It's
like slowly getting darker. He's just like
darker and darker.
He's trying to shut us down. He's like, okay, Dad, we gotta be done here. I'm closing now.
Hey, look, man, I'm on this MacBook, man, and like, I don't know. It's a lot of noise. If I was to raise the lights, I don't know, So
I thought Delvin was just killing the curtains because he was talking about something that he wasn't supposed to. I mean, I know Roddy's OnlyFans is open to everybody. Fuck. During a podcast.
Roddy's God dang. Taking that money. Maybe he could buy me the Sony camera.
Seriously,
and the fold. What the hell?
We should crowdfund it. We should crowdfund
it. Yo, we should just pass it around to each other. We just ship it to each other for review.
Yeah.
No. Hold on. If we're gonna crowdfund anything, we're all gonna wear Dyson Bane masks next to you.
Oh yeah.
And then after Tuna sends it to me, I'm gonna be like,
come on.
Why does it smell like sadness and despair?
If I'm not the first one, just send me the headphones.
Yeah, seriously. Listen, one of you guys buy those headphones, you're going to be made fun of. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to have a fucking stream of jokes ready to go.
Tuna's doing it.
So, I can't want Tuna to play.
You.
Yeah.
Who?
You.
Yeah, Tuna. I think you have to buy it, buddy.
As soon as Best Buy has an open box version, I'll jump on it.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, well, Tuna, you get working on the Dyson connection there. Delvon, you got
Someone's in the back messing with the curtain.
Someone's in the background messing with the curtain. I don't know if that's a sign to us to wrap up, but we will.
It's perfect.
Oh, there.
Whoa! What's going on over there? It's all dark and mysterious over there.
That's a whole sun right there. That's a whole sun.
Yeah, all right. Okay, there you go. Well, we will leave it there for today. And thank you very much to Tuna, Dan, Sam, Delvon for joining us on the TNT podcast. You can catch us every Sunday, guys, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will have more great tech stories and OnlyFans, fan fiction coming from Roddy, hopefully next week when Roddy returns. But if you ever want to follow any of these guys, you can check them out on YouTube. You can check out the TNT podcast on anywhere you find good podcasts. And thanks, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
All right. Peace.